TalkSport.
This caught our eye this morning, and it's quite a statement from the Southampton manager Ralph Hasenhuttl. He said he actually admitted to blocking hotel Wi-Fi during an away trip whilst he was in charge of the RB Leipzig players. He said, I did it with my last club. The players were playing video games until 3 a.m. before a game. I spoke to this fella, Andy Robertson. Now, not Andy Robertson of Liverpool. This is Andy Robertson, who's a gaming expert and the author of an upcoming book, Taming Gaming. And I said to Andy quite straight about Hasenhuttl claiming that spending excessive amounts of time playing video games is comparable to alcoholism and drug addiction.
I mean, it's a common misconception, but the facts and the science is that the dopamine that a video game creates in the brain is only a tenth of that of a physical substance. So it's a very different thing playing a lot of video games or maybe drinking too much. And so I think the way we address these things needs to be different as well.
Having said that, though, Andy, he's admitted to blocking hotel Wi-Fi during away trips, and he was in charge of RB Leipzig. He said the players were playing until 3 a.m. before a game.
Well, I think everyone needs some common sense in terms of how you prepare for big sporting events, and I'm no expert on that, but in terms of what the games are doing, they actually can be a benefit. And so the skills that you are sort of refining and honing in a game, if used appropriately, could be seen as something that's beneficial. And I think in the future what we'll see is coaches and managers actually using games in this way to actually get their benefits. But of course that needs to be in, kind of a sensible ecosystem where you're not just playing until all hours of the morning.
But Andy, there has to be something in this. I mean, we now know that one English Football League player who wants to remain anonymous has revealed that lengthy gaming sessions were threatening to ruin his career. He's being honest about it. He's hooked.
I think often it's hard to know what's the cause and what's the effect. So, when you're under a lot of high pressure, maybe in a sports like this, maybe you see that expressed in excessive game playing, but that's not necessarily the cause and could be a symptom. And really what it should point to is, how are we looking after these players in a more holistic way rather than just banning, the particular sort of way it's being acted out.
What is there a set number of hours in a day that anyone, a footballer or anyone, should devote to gaming, and that then it would remain containable, then it would remain realistic?
Yes, this is a conversation that I often are having with parents rather than sort of adults. And there is this desire to say, well, how long is too long? But really, the way to look at this and to sort of create a healthy way to play games is about the context. Where are the games being played? Are they part of a kind of a healthy diet in terms of the other things you do in your life? But also, is there a variety of activities? So not just worrying about how long you're at the screen, but what's going on. And again, as I was saying earlier, a lot of gaming can be very beneficial, but of course you want to do that in sort of common sense. And if you had a child who was playing until 3 a.m, of course it's entirely appropriate to put some limits in place.
I think maybe Ralph Hasenhuttl should pre-order a copy of your upcoming book, Taming Gaming, because you seem to have the answer for it, Andy.
Well, I think, one of the things is that there aren't loads of resources to help parents like this. And so I think what we're going to see is more and more assistance so that parents and adults who are dealing with people who are playing lots of games have a more informed way to actually move them and guide them towards a healthy experience. And that actually is stepping into the benefits and sort of curating how they play games rather than just putting in sort of draconian limits or potentially banning video games.